20 years ago, I was wrestling in college, and I had a bad neck injury, and every day I was getting a thing called a stinger, and my head would get jammed back, and pain would shoot down my arm and out my fingers. It felt like fire coming out. And it was happening multiple times a day, and as I look back, it was happening even when I was young. That's when it kind of all started, but it just got more frequently every day, multiple times a day. And then I started noticing weakness and muscle weakness, and then one day I couldn't do a push-up. And I was so weak, I looked down at my pec muscle and it was gone. It shriveled up. And same with my tricep muscle. And it kind of freaked me out because I was suffering. My performance was suffering on the mat because I couldn't wrestle up to my ability. And so what did I do? I went to the doctor. And tried some drugs, anti-inflammatories, muscle relaxers, and that didn't work. Tried therapy, a training room, but nothing ever seemed to get to the problem. And so the next thing I did, they did some tests, some MRIs, and they showed the disc. There it was, pinching the nerve going down my arm. That was causing the whole thing. And I ended up in the surgeon's office. And here I am, I'm 20, I'm young. I was trying to tough it out. I really didn't want to sit out. I wanted to keep wrestling. But the surgeon, I go in and he says, "You're done wrestling. Possible paralysis if you keep going. And I'm going to put these screws and plates in your neck to fix the problem." And in the back of my mind, I just knew that wasn't right. And so I left. And my last resort was chiropractic. I had never been adjusted before, didn't know anything about it. And that was the moment that saved my life when I walked into the chiropractor's office, because he did an exam on me. He found where the problem was. He showed me my neck and how messed up it was and where the nerves were getting pinched that were going down my arm. But he also taught me a principle. And the principle about health, that the only person that could heal was inside me, from my brain down my spinal cord across the nerves. And I just didn't know that. And I was studying pre-med. I was going to medical school. And I remember after he gave me that first adjustment, I felt life come down my arm that I hadn't felt like for years. And I knew right there that was the moment that I needed to change my direction in life. And I stopped the process of going to medical school and immediately enrolled into chiropractic school. And that's where I kept learning the principle, and more stories and cases that I learned that the principle, is from your brain down your spinal cord. That's how you heal. You just got to get rid of the interferences. And I also learned that those same nerves that were going down my arm that caused my pec to atrophy were the same nerves that were going to my heart and lungs. And I just didn't know. They were dying too. I could have passed every test, heart and lung test there was, but those nerves were getting crushed, T1 and T2. So that's where I started, and that's my mission now. Is I don't want anybody, not your family, your loved ones, to have to go through what I went through. I was 1 week away from getting plates and screws stuck in my neck, and if I would have went through with that surgery, where would I be at? I'd have those things in my neck, probably still, be on painkillers, maybe more, 20 years, probably have a couple more surgeries now. But thank God that didn't happen. And I found out what the principle was. And now the mission and my passion is I need to tell people. I need to let the world know that the healing is in you, nowhere else. We just got to get rid of those interferences.